What's going on, everyone? ANCAP24 here from Playbook.gg. In today's video, we're going to do a test on speed. Whether or not taller players are faster than those that are shorter. Now, if this is the first time checking out our channel and you want to win more games playing Madden, hit that subscribe button below. Don't forget to also click that bell icon to make sure you never miss any of our videos. Alright guys, so for this test, I took the Falcons lineup and I totally went ahead and changed every player. Okay, and what I wanted to do to get a controlled experiment here is I went and took every single player and put them all at 95 speed, put them all at a 95 agility, all at 95 acceleration. And if you look at their deep route running, their short route running, their medium and deep, all 95s. I wanted to make sure anything that could alter the test was all on the same level playing field, okay? Only thing difference between these players is height. Okay, you got Julio Jones, that's 6'3", Ridley, that's 6'1", Hardy's 5'10". Then I put a monster in Zacchaeus as a 7-foot, 250-pound player. And then I went ahead and had Russell Gage at 6 foot, and then Christian Blake at 5'8". Okay, and then the low person on the totem pole is Brandon Powell, 5'5". Okay, so you've got varying heights to all these players. And we're going to do an experiment is everybody that runs at the same speed, do they get from point A to point B at the same time? Or do the taller players get there faster? That's kind of the test that we're going to do today. And the first example we're going to do is we're going to go tall versus short. We're going to go with Andre the Giant here, Zacchaeus versus the mini-me here, Blake. So I'll go ahead and pick a play. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick it out of trips tight end because both the inside receivers start from the same spot. And I'm going to do it on the 55 yardage to go to the end zone. It's going to end up being on the 45-yard line. And the reason why I'm doing this is because this is the furthest I can get the players to run without turning back and coming back to the ball. Okay, so here we are. And actually, you know what? I got to sub them in as far as positional subs. So let's try this again here. So we're going to go and put Zacchaeus here at this spot. And that's going to put him on the inside. And then we're going to put what we said for our shortest player, which is going to be Powell. And let's see where Powell is. He's actually on the outside. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's put Julio there. And let's put Powell right here. Okay, so this test is going to show 7 foot versus 5'5". Okay, I'm going against no defense. Okay, and you're going to see right here, this is 5'5", this is 7 foot. I'm putting them both on streaks. As you can see, their foot lines are on the 45. And I'm just going to take Julio Jones out of this play. It's only going to be 2 players running down the field. And what we're going to do is we're going to see who gets to the end zone quickest. Okay, so we're just going to hike the ball. And we're going to see who can get down there. Same speed, same acceleration, same everything. Who gets down there faster? Okay, so let's go to instant replay. And let's go ahead and take a look at it. And I want you guys to go ahead and form your hypothesis already. And see here that we're going to look at these 2 players, right? Starting from the same exact spot. Let's see how fast they get down the field. Okay, you can see how Zacchaeus went down the field. And he is able to get down and into the end zone. Same thing, 95 speed, 95 everything. Almost 2 yards further down the field than our 5'5" player here, Powell. Now, what I want to do is count the amount of times his foot touches the ground. Okay, so let's look at just Zacchaeus, okay? So we're going to count basically strides. So the first stride is when he's left foot touch. That's 1. 2. Okay, let's go. 3, 4, 5, I'm totally getting this off here, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Basically 21 and a half strides to get to the field. Now let's go look at our little guy here, Powell. Let's count how many strides it takes him to get there. See if I can go on him a little bit easier this time. All right, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So it takes 26 strides for our little guy to get there, but our tall guy got there in 21 and a half strides. Obviously, that has something to do with speed as far as how far he gets down the field, okay? Let's do another test with two different players. So you saw that our tall guy got there about 2 yards faster, right? Let's do, and just take out our 7-footer, and let's put in Ridley. Ridley is going to be a 6'1" player, and we're going to do the same test versus the 5'5". Let's see how much further or quicker he gets down the field, all right? So let's go ahead and test this again. We'll do the same play. Y versus B, that's all we're looking at here, right? So we'll put those two guys down. This is 6'1" versus 5'5", and let's see how this does. And we're going to see how they get down the field. It's kind of hard to tell from this angle until we go ahead and go into instant replay. Let's see who gets down the field quicker. Now, let's go to instant replay here. And what you're going to see is these two guys will come off the blocks the same, come out, and it looks like Ridley's going to win, but obviously not as, basically as far as a distance as Zacchaeus did. So when Zacchaeus, who was basically 7 foot, 5'5", you're talking, basically 1.7 inches in difference. They beat him by almost 2 yards. This one, I would call that maybe a half a yard. Even if I could just go a little bit, try to hit right where he hits him. It basically, say he hits it right there. Basically a half a yard to a yard, right? So 5'5" and 6'1", really not a huge difference when it comes to the difference in speed. Yes, the 6'1" guy gets down there quicker, but when it's really, this is, you're talking 8 inches in difference, really not that much different, right? And you can see that he basically beats him by about in between a half a yard and a yard, okay? Now let's go ahead and race the same type of distance between Julio and Zacchaeus. Julio's 6'3", Zacchaeus is 7 foot, so you got 9 inches between the two. So let's go ahead and put those guys out there. And I just want to kind of just establish a little bit of a different, ability here to kind of make it show that, what's going on here. So let's get Julio in the middle spot here. Let's get Zacchaeus right here. And let's put Powell here. Okay. So we're going to do the same exact test. No, this is going to be 9 inches. It's Julio and Zacchaeus are the two, headliners here, right? Let's see how they do it. Let's get Powell out of this. Let's get this right here. All right, so we're good. We'll hike the ball, and let's see how they do. This is 7 foot versus 6'3". Okay, so let's go take a look. And let's see how this works. So my guess is that the 7-footer is going to get down there quicker. But let's see how much further he gets down there, right? They go down. You can see that he does have that ability to get down the field. Julio's keeping up with him. But at the end of the day, I would say that's about the same distance as we saw with Ridley at 6'1" and the 5'5". Really, it's just about a half a yard to a yard. If you look at it right here where, he's finally crossing that line, right? So you're talking very, very minimal when it comes to 8 inches. Obviously, 1.5 feet, you saw it was 2 yards. So at 8 inches, it's about a yard. So it looks like every 8 inches or so, you're going to start seeing that you gain about a half a yard in speed. I want to show you one more test with this and what I noticed, okay? Now, the test is we're going to put on this outside Powell. See how he starts about a yard and a half ahead of these guys? So what I'm going to do is put all three of them on the streaks, right? So I'm going to put them all on streaks, and I'm just going to hike it. I'm going to let them go down the field, right? And what I want to show you here is that speed literally only looks like it makes a difference, or in height, according to speed, only looks like it makes a difference in the first 3 strides. And let me show you what I mean. So these guys are obviously, Zacchaeus beat Powell here, the short guy, by 2.5 yards. So basically he's got that same lead right now, right? But watch what happens here. The 7-foot giant jumps ahead of them right away. But you can see that at this point, we started at the 45. So at the 10-yard mark, they're about even, right? You would think that we've got 45 yards more to go. Zacchaeus already went ahead and took over that 2-yard head start that he had, that he's behind, right? And 10 yards, he was able to jump over it, right? Right here, they're basically neck to neck. They got 45 yards to go. You would think he'd blow them out, right? This is where the speed goes. They basically all run neck to neck for the next 45 yards, right? So really, at the end of the day, see how they're all right next to it? So the first 10 yards, the tall player was able to go ahead and basically, close the gap. But for 45 yards straight, the short guy and the tall guy had the same exact speed. So when you're looking at, is taller players going to be faster? The answer is yes and no. The first 10 yards, that ability to get off the huge stride off of the first 10, they're basically going to be faster. But in most cases, if someone's getting pressed, somebody's not getting a free release, that basically does not, come into account. All you're going to see is that these guys are going to run, the 95 speed kicks in after the 10-yard mark, and they all run the exact same speed. See how that works right there? So it didn't matter that the guy was that much taller than him after the 10-yard mark. So that's really what we came as a conclusion, is that height does matter, and it matters in the first 10 yards. After that, it's not going to gain you anything down the field. Like, I would even argue that it's the first 5 yards. Let's see here. Right at the 5-yard mark, maybe right there. Okay, maybe it's first 7 yards. First 7 yards right there, they're equal. He runs the next 47 yards to the end zone, absolutely stride for stride. Didn't matter how tall he was. So just so you understand, if you're looking at a player, yes, they're going to have a bigger wingspan. They got bigger arms, so you have the ability to basically catch the ball a little bit further than a short guy would, so that there is advantages to tall players. But actual speed, stride for stride, the player stays up with him after the 7-yard mark once he goes ahead and basically ends up with the stride. So what you were seeing before, when these guys run, Julio versus the 7-footer, the first 7 yards, he establishes what he's going to beat him by, and then they're all going to run exactly the same speed all the way down the field after that. So just kind of a little bit of a test. We're having fun doing some tests to find out, different myths that are out there, different things that you can kind of see. But this one was definitely one we wanted to check out. Speed does have some correlation with height, but only in the first 7 yards, and then everything else is equal. Now, if you like this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and make sure you check out these videos below for the most helpful Madden tips. If you're looking to learn from the best players in the world, head over to www.playbook.gg for the most detailed game plans in Madden.